Shalom, Israel. Shalom. This is the brother Kataziar Hawad back at it with another lesson, man. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakahakwadash. Double honors to my teachers, the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom to you brothers out there who are laboring in this truth and faith and sincerity. And shalom to you families out there who are watching, waiting, praying on Yahweh Shai's second return. Peace and blessings to the house of David, the hopeful elect. All right, I came across a couple articles. This is going to be a quick hit, okay? This first one is Trump says there could be U.S. boots on the ground airstrikes in Nigeria. President Trump said on Sunday that there is a possibility of U.S. boots on the ground or airstrikes in Nigeria after he told the Department of Defense over the weekend to prepare for possible action in the country amid alleged attacks on Christians. They're killing record numbers of Christians in Nigeria. He continued, alleging that killings of Christians were taking place in very large numbers. We're not going to allow that to happen. He said, the president said in a Truth Social post on Saturday that he was instructing the Department of Defense to prepare for possible action in Nigeria. If the Nigerian government continues to allow the killing of Christians, the USA will immediately stop all aid and assistance to Nigeria and may very well go into that now disgraced country, guns a-blazing, to completely wipe out the Islamic terrorists who are committing these horrible atrocities, Trump wrote on a platform. So as you can see, tension between the nations are rising, you know. Okay, bear with me. Yeah, tension between the nations are rising. There was that one. There was this one as well. Trump's testing plans for U.S. nuclear weapons won't include explosions, Energy Secretary says. West Palm Beach, Florida. New tests of the U.S. nuclear weapons system ordered up by President Donald Trump will not include nuclear explosions, Energy Secretary Chris Rice said Sunday. It was the first clarity from the Trump administration since the president took to social media last week to say he had instructed the Department of War to start testing our nuclear weapons on an equal basis. So you see, they even beginning the testing of the nuclear weapon systems. Okay, let's read on. I think the tests we're talking about right now are system tests. Rice said in an interview on Fox News Sunday briefing, these are not nuclear explosions. These are what we call non-critical explosions. But didn't y'all just say there would be no explosions? Look at that. The article says Trump's testing plans for U.S. nuclear weapons won't include explosions. But here it is, dog said. All right, Esau, come stop playing. These are not nuclear explosions. These are what we call non-critical explosions. So that means it's still explosions then. So which is it? It won't be explosions or it will be. You see? And that's the craftiness and deceitfulness of Esau Edom. Wright, whose agency is responsible for testing, added that the planned testing involves all the other parts of a nuclear weapon to make sure they deliver the appropriate geometry and they set up the nuclear explosion. There it is again, explosion. The confusion over Trump's intentions started minutes before he held a critical meeting in South Korea with Chinese President Xi Jinping. Trump took to his Truth Social platform and appeared to suggest he was preparing to discard a decades-old U.S. prohibition on testing the nation's nuclear weapons. Okay, so basically there's a United States prohibition that's many years old, and Trump is preparing to disregard it, or discard it, if you will, to be able to test the nuclear weapons of Babylon. Later that day, as he made his way back to Washington, Trump was coy on whether he really meant to say he was ordering a resumption of explosive testing of nuclear weapons, something only North Korea has undertaken this country, or calling for the testing of U.S. systems that could deliver a nuclear weapon, which is far more routine. You'll find out very soon. Oh, wait. He remained pot on Friday when asked by reporters about whether he intended to resume underground nuclear detonation tests. Okay, so he remained non-transparent on Friday when asked by reporters about whether he intended to resume underground nuclear detonation tests. You'll find out very soon, Trump told reporters aboard Air Force One on Friday as he headed to Florida for a weekend stay. U.S. military regularly tests missiles that are capable of delivering a nuclear warhead, but has not detonated the weapons since 1992. Okay, the comprehensive nuclear. Bear with me. Slovakia. Trump announced his plans for nuclear tests after Russia announced it had tested a new atomic-powered nuclear-capable underwater drone and a new nuclear-powered cruise missile. Russia responded to Trump's nuclear testing comments by underscoring that it did not test its nuclear weapons and has abided by a global ban on nuclear testing. The Kremlin warned, though, that if the U.S. resumes testing its weapons, Russia will as well, an intensification that would restart Cold War era tensions. Right, so, Trump, Babylon the Great, getting ready to test nuclear weapons. Russia basically saying, all right, we are back down. It's a global ban on testing the shit. But if Babylon is going to continue doing it, then we going to continue doing it as well. It's basically what Russia's saying. And so as you can see, we headed more in the direction of World War III, right? Which we all know at this point is going to be based on nuclear warfare. Okay? And we know how it ends with that great lake of fire written up in Revelation 21, Slovakia. I believe it's 2nd Ezra 16. Slovakia, bear with me. I'm just reading some of these verses because these, go into the nuclear destruction as well. But this wasn't what I was looking for, but the 2nd Ezra 16 and verse, I'm going to get the point. Verse 7, may one turn again the arrow that is shot of a strong archer, that arrow representing nuclear missiles, nuclear warheads. All right, the archer being Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. The mighty Lord sendeth the plagues, and who is he that can drive them away? A fire shall go forth from his wrath, and who is he that may quench it? Right, so those nuclear warheads are eventually going to hit Babylon and burn up everything from the Golden Gate Bridge in California all the way to the Statue of Liberty in New York, goddamn down to the fucking Orlando Disney Resort in Florida, all the way across the board to the Seattle Needle in Washington. All right. So all of Babylon is going to get burnt to a crisp through nuclear fire and the radiation and the shock waves that come from the nuclear missiles hitting this place. Okay. I was trying to make this something quick, nothing long, just real quick. And Salakia, I misquoted when I said Revelation 21. This is Revelation chapter 20 and verse 14. And death and hell were cast into the lake of fire. This is the second death. And whosoever was not found written in the book of life was cast into the lake of fire. So the lake of fire written here is picture America, picture the map of America with all the states, right? With all the states labeled on the map. And picture that being engulfed in flames, being engulfed in napalm and nuclear fire. All right. That's the lake of fire. Not hell, because hell is a place. Okay. And on top of that, how could hell be a place and then be cast into a lake of fire? That don't even make no damn sense. So, that's that wacky-tacky Christian doctrine and logic for you. All right. If you have the spirit to receive it, there are many videos on this. I've done a couple myself, and many brothers of GMS have done videos on it. Just type in GMS hell or GMS hell doctrine, or GMS hell is not a place. Okay. So you can learn, if you have the spirit to receive it, so you can learn that hell is not a location. It's not a place that you go to. When people die, when everybody die, they go back up to the Heavenly Father. So I'm not going to dive in there right now because I went into those scriptures already before in previous videos. And so have other brothers of Great Millstone. All right. Excuse me, Shalakia. But again, that's what the lake of fire is. Okay. It's Babylon the Great being engulfed in flames by the nuclear missiles from World War III. Okay. So understand that it's on the way. It's on the, it's on the rise. All right. Salakia, let me see if I can find something else real quick. Okay, that's not what I was looking for, Salakia. All right. Yeah, that's predominantly the point on that. All right. Also, I saw these right here. And there was one about, okay, here it is. We will delay, we will cancel flights to ensure safety. We will delay, we will cancel any kind of flight across the national airspace to make sure people are safe amidst the shortages. And so basically just even seeing a title like that, lets me know we headed more into Jacob's trouble. Jacob's trouble is going to begin to start ramping up even more in 2026. Okay, as we approach 2026, we're gonna see more and more uh, headlines of death and destruction and judgment. Okay, so be prepared to see more headlines like that. Be prepared for more things to go array in Babylon, if you will. All right. Here was something else that was major for Jacob's trouble. USPS, United States Postal Service, and all major banks, including Chase and Wells Fargo, to close for 24 hours in days for first of two November shutdowns. All right. So I guess it's saying in the days ahead, they're gonna shut those like all those major banks are gonna get shut down for the first of two November shutdowns. So I'm assuming that this is the first one, and then maybe sometime later in the month there's gonna be a second, 24-hour closure of those banks. Americans will soon face a nationwide service pause as the United States Postal Service and all major banks prepare for a full 24-hour shutdown in the coming days. The closure marks the first of two major November shutdowns, with the next one expected later in the month for Thanksgiving. Okay, so that's what that is, later in the next month. The temporary halt will affect millions of people across the country as mail delivery, in-person banking, and some government operations come to a stop for Veterans Day, which falls on Tuesday, November 11th. The USPS confirmed that all of its 33,780 post offices will close for the day, with no mail delivery, retail service, or package processing taking place. Postal operations will not be interrupted in the event of government shutdown, the agency said in an earlier statement, emphasizing that it remains independently funded through product and service sales rather than tax dollars. And this planned closure is part of the USPS federal holiday schedule and will impact communities nationwide. While services will pause for Veterans Day, the Postal Service will resume normal operations the following morning. The November 11th closure also means that banks and credit unions across the country will suspend in-person operations for the day. Salakia, didn't mean to do that. Financial institutions including Wells Fargo, Chase, B of A, U.S. Bank, Citibank, Capital One, and Citizen Bank have confirmed that their branches will remain closed for the full 24 hours. A spokesperson for U.S. Bank told the U.S. Sun, "Our branch locations will be closed in observance of both federal holidays." Wells Fargo, which operates more than 4,300 branches, listed Veterans Day as one of four remaining 2025 closures alongside Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's Day. During the shutdown, customers can still access digital banking and ATMs, but any deposits or transfers may not clear until the next business day. All right, so so the point of all this is, as we head into 2026 in the coming weeks and months, etc., understand that there's gonna come a time where you see how they told you in this article that it's planned, right, which falls on the temporary halt, blah blah blah, come to a stop for Veterans Day, which falls on Tuesday, November 11th. Right? There's gonna come a time where there is no warning you. There is no, on this date ahead of time, the bank's gonna close, so plan ahead. The postal office gonna close, so plan ahead. There's gonna come a time where there ain't no that. But what's gonna happen is folks are just gonna, you might be walking down the street, driving down the street or something, and you'll see lines and lines of people, at different banks, etc., trying to get their money out and they can't. ATMs down, and then the branches closing right in their face. You're going to eventually see lines of people at gas stations trying to get gas and they can't. Prepare to see these things, man. You're going to see people trying to up and leave you know, and then even the richest people aren't even going to be able to hop on same day flights, etc., to try to leave the country because um, the people that pilot those jets, will be like, you know, we can't. We simply can't. So if anything, that's more of a time when like shit hit the fan and all hell break loose. But I mean, even expect that. You know what I'm saying? Just walk circumspectly. Even suspect that. To befall Babylon soon, man. All right. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 30 and verse 7. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. For it shall come to pass in that day, saith the Lord of hosts, that I will break his yoke from off thy neck, and will burst thy bonds, and strangers shall no more serve themselves of him. Right, so during the time of Jacob's trouble, all hell is going to break loose. Okay? All hell is going to break loose. The hour of temptation is going to rise. You know, the hour of temptation being Babylonians being presented with the mark of the beast on a nationwide scale, you know, to bring order from chaos, if you will, you know. And at the end of all of that, Yahweh Shai will come back, okay? All these things first have to come to pass, right? The gender wars, race wars, class wars, civil wars, etc. FEMA camps, martial law, Jacob's trouble, World War III. All these things have to pass first, and then Yahweh Shai will come back, okay? And that's when he'll make his second return and deliver the hopeful elect, the remnant, from this captivity. Abaratazah, y'all out there watching are of the hopeful elect. Abaratazah, Father Will, I'm of the hopeful elect myself, And when Yahweh Shai, Salakia, when Yahweh Shai makes his second coming, and appears in the sky, Abaratazah, we be called up there with him and get beamed up by them chariots. Whether it's one big father ship or it's a multitude of chariots, Abaratazah, man, we get beamed up and we watch the destruction of Babylon, from those chariots. Watching Babylon get engulfed in flames. You know how beautiful that would be to see? To be in a chariot, you hella high up, like you hella high up in the sky in a chariot, and you getting to see, you getting to see all the way. If you're on the West Coast, you get to see all the way across to the East Coast, and you watching the Statue of Liberty go down. If you're on the East Coast, you get to see all the way across the states to the West Coast, and you watching the Golden Gate Bridge in California go down. You know what I'm saying? You know how beautiful that would be to watch from a chariot. So yeah, man. Like stay prayed up, stay repenting, continue calling on Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai every day, every day, every day. Continue doing the righteous acts to the best of your abilities. Fast, pray, repent again, like we always say. All right. Because it's only the remnant that's going to make it out of here. All right. Salakia. This is Zechariah 13 and 8. And it shall come to pass that And all the land saith, Yahweh, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the third shall be left therein. Right? The 1/3 is the hopeful elect, the remnant of Israel. Right? And I will bring the third part through the fire, and will refine them as silver is refined, and will try them as gold is tried. They shall call on my name, and I will hear them, and I will say, it is my people, and they shall say, Yahweh is my power. Right? So Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is going to make us new. Right? Apparatus, I would be of the hopeful elect of the 1/3. You know, when we get beamed up by the chariots, apparatus, Father will, you know, our bodies will be transformed. Right? We'll get new bodies. We'll be immortal. Right? So we can't die. We can't get illnesses. We can't get diseases. You know? And we'll be made perfect. And have the laws on our inward parts, so we'll be incapable of sin. We will be made incapable to sin. You see? Hold on, it's a precept to that. Book of Sirach, chapter 2. Salakia, bear with me. I don't know why these got unhighlighted for whatever reason. Salakia. Let me see if I can grab it from. I don't think this is what I was looking for, but we'll see. Yeah, it's not, but right. So it's mentioning the remnant, right? The 1/3. Okay, so I mean, yeah, that's a precept, but it's not the specific one I was after. Salakia, bear with me. Okay, that might be another one. Oh, okay, I missed it. I had it the whole time, man. This is the book of Sirach, or Ecclesiastes, chapter 2 and verse 5. And it's crazy that I didn't remember this. I almost knew this entire chapter by heart at one point. Verse 5, for gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. Right, so Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai puts us through trials, errors, and tribulations to refine us, right? This is why, you know, you get some blessings, but then you get some hell put on you. You get some blessings, but then you get some hell put on you. You get some blessings, right? And it's a cycle like that to test your endurance, you know, to see if you're going to break, like if you're going to snap like a twig, you know, or if you're really solid, you know. Can you really endure through this, through the hardships that we have to go through, you know? Can you endure the hardships that come with being a man of the Lord, a man of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, you know? So yeah, man, that was the point on that. All right. Jacob's trouble around the corner, World War III around the corner. All right. Continue calling on the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Continue fearing the Lord and praising his name, praising Yahweh's name. All right. With that, I'm going to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Bahashem, Rakah HaKodash. Double honors to my teachers, the elders, and apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom to you brothers out there laboring in this truth and faith and sincerity. Shalom to you families out there who are watching, waiting, praying on Yahweh Shai's second return. Peace and blessings to the house of David, the hopeful elect. Shalom.